Great, so we'll start standing and grab your chair just for a little bit of support. Make sure you can see me there. And you can turn and face the chair, or you can just have it on one side. It doesn't really matter. And see if you can feel that you're standing nice and tall. And just start to move a little bit. You can have the chair for a bit of support. And just, so what we're doing here, bum kicks, they call these in sort of classic exercise classes. So you're not letting your knee come up too much. You're just sort of getting the knees and the feet mobilizing a little bit, getting the body used to changing weight. And then we're going to turn it into a high knee. So then we're mobilizing the hip a little bit more. Good. Let's just do a few more. And then lift one. So I've got my left one lifted. And just point the toes down to the floor. Lift the toes away from the floor. And see if you can really feel the muscles that are working. So as you point your toes, you feel your calf muscle. And as you lift your toes, you feel your shin muscle. Yeah. And then keeping the knee lifted. So now you're going to start to feel a bit of fatigue in your hip flexors, and your tummy muscles need to help you support. Then just draw a couple of circles with your ankle and then change direction. And then just ease some of that out. Harder work than you think it should be, isn't it? And then take the other one up. So we want to try to maintain the knee in line with the hip. And you need a little bit of tummy muscles in. You want to really stand firm on your standing leg if you can, and see if you can feel the buttock working there. And just point and flex. And we'll do it 5 more times. Point and flex. And see if you can feel the muscles working. Calf, shin, calf, shin. 2 more. Good. And then see if you can stand nice and tall as you do your circles. If you need to drop it down a little bit, then go ahead and do that. And circle the other way. Woo! And then just have a little jig and loosen some of that tension. So give the legs a bit of a shake. Nice, and then come and stand tall again, and let's do some heel raises. So it can sometimes throw your balance out a little bit. So you want to feel as if the crown of your head's going straight up to the ceiling as you come onto your tiptoes. And then as gently as you can, bring the heels back down. So you don't want to plonk the heels back down onto the floor. Good. So we come up, hold it, and then slowly with control come back. Yeah, it's really good. And see, can you feel not as if your weight's shifting forwards or backwards, but you're staying really centered over the middle of your feet, slowly back down. Let's do 2 more here. Nice and upright. As slowly as you can. So you're trying to control the wobbling of the ankles. Last one. Good. And slowly back down. Going to come up again. Change the weight and see if you can lift 1 foot. And can you take that one slowly back? Good. Just give a little bit of a loosener. We'll try that on the other side. So you go up on both tiptoes. See if you can transfer the weight to the other one. You might need to use your chair. That's fine. Lift the foot and slowly take the heel down. And that, if you have a bit of a plonk on the heel, don't worry. Good. Ease out the tension. Let's do that one more time. Up on both. Transfer the weight into 1 foot. Slowly bring the heel down. Release a little bit of that tension. Great. And then up. Take the weight into the other tippy toe. You can use the chair if you feel wobbly. And then really slowly back down. Yeah, lovely. It's hard work. Good. And then turn to face your chair. Come really close to it with your hips. And take a long step back with your right foot. Bend, a little bit of a bend in your left. That's it. And then we're going to come up onto both tiptoes and then push into the back heel as you drop the heels down. So this is a bit more of a mobilization. So it can be a bit quicker. And you can have the chair quite close if you need to. Try not to let your weight come too far forward. So you want your body nice and upright. So you'll feel particularly the back heel, back calf working, pumping blood. That's really good. Good. And then as we take the heels down, really see, can you push into the back heel? So you soften the front knee and you should feel quite a strong calf stretch here. If it feels too much, you can bring it in a little bit. So don't feel as if you're at a point where it feels as if it's gonna break. Be kind. That's what we're talking about today. Be kind. Push the back toes into the floor. You feel that fire up the muscles. And then step into the front foot and just give that back foot a little bit of a shake. Step back again into your calf stretch. Relax your toes. It should be a little bit easier this time. Good. And then step forwards, give the legs a little bit of a shake. We'll take that to the other side. So step back, quite a long step with your left. See if you can take the heel down. If you can't take this heel down, it's too tight, just step it in a little bit. And then body nice and upright and float onto the toes and then float back down. See if you can ground this heel up and down a few more times. So we're really working the feet and the ankles, the calf muscles, helping to pump the blood back up to the heart. Good, couple more. Lovely. And you can just take some pressure off by giving that back one a little bit of a shake. Step back into your calf stretch. Again, nice and upright with the body. So you're looking straight ahead. And see, can you push into the back heel? So you start to get a stronger stretch in the calf and then push the back toes into the floor. Front knee can be soft. And you'll feel everything fire up there. Step into the front foot again, just shake out the tension in the back, ankle, foot, calf, and then step back, and hopefully that is a little bit easier. And we'll just hold it as a stretch for another moment. And then shake it out. Lovely. Good. So we'll just do a little bit more hip mobilization. So you can stand a little bit further away from the chair, and you can use a wall for these as well if you need to, or if you're feeling nice and stable, you don't need the chair. Can you bring the knee up in front of the hip again, and then just draw a circle out to the side, back to the center, out to the side, back to the center. Good. Let's just do two more. Try and keep that standing leg strong. And then we'll just do a couple the other way. So take it out, bring it round, out and round. Good. Two more, you can do it. Last one. Good. Ooh, and then shake that leg out, shake your standing leg out. Good. So pixie dance, a little pixie dance to loosen, where the knees are coming out to the side. That's just going to release some tension through the hip. Come back to your center. Let's try that on the other side. So we're going up and out and back to the center. And don't worry if there's a little bit of clunking in there, as long as it's not too strong and too painful, we're okay. Let's do three more. See if you can squeeze the buttock of the standing leg. That's going to help to develop a bit of strength there. Good. Last one. And then try changing direction. Good. So the tummy muscles can help you here. Try and stand nice and tall. Good. Two more. Ooh. Great. And then a little bit of pixie dance, release some of that tension. And then take the feet a little bit wider, turning the toes out. Now, this is quite a nice one for, again, a bit of hip freeing. So you're just straightening one leg, bending the other. The toes float in the same direction as your knees in the same direction as your toes. That's what I'm trying to say. Good. And you just dip. It doesn't have to be much, so you don't want to feel this in your knees. Good. And then try sticking your bottom out and taking the chest forwards a little bit. You feel a bit more stretch in the inner thigh. Good. And you could even do that a little bit more, but only if it feels okay. And then start to come back up and walk the feet in. Great. Lovely. Right then, let's do a couple of stretches for the shoulders. So if you turn your back to the chair, and you can just be holding on with one hand so that you feel stable. Take the other arm up, open it round so you're in a circle. You can let the chest come open, and then take hold of the chair with your palm out if that is available to you. So you've gone round in a circle, turned the chest to the right, and see if you can hold on to the chair. If, like me, you've got a chair where it's easy to have the palm out, you can have the palm out. If not, you can just hold on to the side. And then we want to try to take the chest forwards so that we get a stretch in the front of the chest. How's that for you? Good. Lovely. Squeeze the shoulder blades in and then relax and circle the shoulders. Just a couple of circles. Well, you're probably getting muffled from my top, are you? But never mind. And then we'll do the other side. So you can hold on to the chair for a little bit of stability if you need to. Circle the other arm round. Let the chest open out to the left or whichever is your opposite side. Take hold of the chair as however you can. And then we try to draw that side of the chest forwards. And squeeze the shoulder blades in and just lift the chest a little bit. Good, take a breath. And then release. And again, take a few shoulder rolls. And it's quite nice to do alternate ones. Yeah, a bit like backstroke. That's it, a bit of coordination. Good, I'm going to take this off so that you can hear me better. So then we're going to do another shoulder stretch, but this stretches the back as well. So if it doesn't feel comfortable, then trust your body. And what we want to do here, if you've got a little bit less flexibility in your back, you're really going to bend your knees. So the hands are on the back of the chair and you start to walk backwards until your arms are straight and you can start to take your head between your arms. So can you see, you really want to stick your bottom out, but the knees are nice and bent. If you're super flexible and it feels good, then you can do a little bit more of like a half downward facing dog in yoga. Now push gently, whichever version you're doing, push your hands gently down into the chair and tone the tummy muscles so the back flattens a little bit. So you get a sense of stretch from the sit bones to the hands and maybe into the back of the shoulder girdle. Let the neck relax, the head relax, and take a breath in between the shoulder blades. Great. And then start to lift the head towards, gaze towards the chair, and then just walk forwards to the chair again. Lovely. Turn your chair around. Well done. It's quite a strong one, but it's good. And you can ease out the tension again, just with a little bit of shoulder rolling. And we'll do more of that later on. So now you've got the seat of the chair in front of you, and you can be quite close here. So we do a little sciatic stretch, my old yoga teacher used to call it. So soften the knees and bring your hands onto the seat. Yeah. And then step one foot over the other and see if you can ground both heels. You can have a little softness in the knee if you want to. Or they can be a bit straighter. So again, trust your body on that. And then see, can you broaden your sit bones? So to do that, you've got a slight opening of the lower back. And then you can start to just bow towards the chair. And you can come down as little or as much as you like. So if you're a bit more flexible, you could have your elbows down. And if not, then you can stay up. Should still give you quite a nice stretch in the buttock and the back of the leg. Lovely. So to come out, come up, arms a little straighter, holding onto the chair, and step the feet wide just for a moment, and then just march. Wide foot march, and take some of that tension out. And then bring the feet back in, and you're going to step the other foot over. So I've now got my left foot in front, and the legs crossed. My feet are quite close together still. And you can have soft knees or you can straighten them back a little bit and then just see. So it might be different on this side from the other. If it's tighter, don't bow so deeply. If you feel okay to do so and it feels nice, you can take your elbows down. Let the head relax wherever you are, whichever, however deep you've taken it. See if you can get that sense of a little arch in your low back so you broaden the sit bones. And take another breath here. Good. Soften the knees to come back out. Take the feet wide. Straighten the arms. Yeah, and just release some of that tension. Bring the feet in. And then we can sit down. Well done. Good. So we talked about doing a cat-cow in seated. I'm just going to grab a brick because you can have a bit of support for this one. I'll show you. There are a couple of things that are really nice for the spine. So if you don't like getting up and down from the floor and it's difficult being on hands and knees, this is just as effective as a spinal mobilizer. So you want to be a little bit further forwards in your chair so that you've got room to move, and the knees are a bit wider than hip distance apart, toes in line with knees, and then take the hands onto the thighs. And for me, I find it quite easy to keep my arms straight with this one, and that helps to have a little bit more isolation on the spine, but just see how you get on. And then you're going to inhale, and as you inhale, you draw the shoulder blades into the back and broaden the sit bones. And then as you exhale, you start to round the spine, draw the belly back, tuck the chin, and you're tucking the tailbone under as well. So you're in a C shape. So here is your extension. The shoulders draw back, the collarbones open, and here is the flexion. So you're slumping forwards, you're letting your hips tilt back. Yeah. So here, the pelvis tilts forwards, inhale and lift. And here, the pelvis tilts back. Your spine is in a C shape, and you tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Good. Let's try moving with the breath for a few more. So inhale, this would be your equivalent of cow. Exhale, push into the feet. That helps to tip the pelvis backwards, draw the tummy muscles back. There's your exhale. Inhale, lift, squeeze the shoulder blades in, open up the collarbones. Good. Exhale, let the shoulders round forwards. Yeah. Push into the feet. So you don't need to come forwards here and fold. You're really just moving the spine. So the shoulders move, the chest lifts, and then the shoulders come forwards and the spine curves. So don't feel that you've got to, hinge forwards too much at the hip. So let's just do a couple more. Inhale, exhale, and allow the yourself to feel the sit bones tip forwards. So you're at the front of the sit bones, and the sit bones tilt backwards. So you kind of feel a bit more onto the buttock. Yeah. And then you've got spinal control. And actually doing it seated can be, it really isolates the movement a little bit more. Great. So then we're going to do a roll down like we do in Pilates. So if you know that you're a little bit tight in hips and back, it's quite nice to have something, whether it's a book or a little stool or something, that you can put your hands on. So I'll show you if you like, first of all, and then you can try one yourself. So you start in the same way, cow pose, inhale. And then this time you're going to fold in really slowly. So the chin tucks to the top of the sternum. The shoulders start to fall inwards as you begin to flex through the upper spine. You can use your arms to support you on your thighs. So elbows can come onto the thighs, and you keep feeling as if you're flexing forwards. So then we can round in the lumbar spine. You probably can't see that because I'm quite stiff. And if you like, the hands can come down on the insides of the knees and find either the floor or your bricks or a book or a couple of tins of beans. So you come down into so this one's much more of a forward fold. And now take a breath into the back of the body. And if you don't want to come so deep, you can just come halfway. That's fine. You can still have your elbows on your knees if that feels better. But whichever way, when you're in this flex position, if you breathe into the back of your body, so feel as if you're driving your in-breath to the back of your lungs, you'll feel it stretch a little bit more. So then to come back up, however deep you've come down, push into your feet and just tone your tummy back and begin to feel as if you're stacking your spine above the pelvis. And as you begin to come upright, then you can start to unfold, feeling as if the spine just clicks one on top of the other into alignment, coming back up. How was that? Should we do that again? So take your time, really see if you can feel each segment of the spine. So inhale to prepare, you're almost back in cow pose, and then start to fold the spine in. So starting with the neck vertebrae, your chin comes in, then the thoracic spine. So the shoulders come forward, so you start to arch in the, or curl in the upper back. And then finally, the lumbar spine can flex. Elbows to the knees, if that helps. If you feel nice and free, then you can take it all the way down, hands to the floor or to your bricks. Take a breath at the bottom. Prepare to come up. So take an inhale first, and as you exhale, draw the tummy back, push into your feet, and slowly start to come up. The elbows can help, the hands on the thighs can help to support you. Keep the breath flowing as you come all the way back up to seated. Lovely. Nice. Does that feel all right? Great. So doing the cat-cow and the forward fold is brilliant for your spine, and you can do it in a nice firm chair. Doesn't work so well in a nice soft squishy chair, often because we tend to be too low, and actually then it compresses things a little bit more. So we've done lots of flexion and extension of the spine. So let's do a twist. You can choose to have your leg crossed or not. It doesn't really matter too much. You'll get a little bit more a hip stretch if you've crossed one leg over the other. So I've got my right leg over, but you can just have your knees together. That's fine. So I've crossed right over left. Then we want to sit up tall again in that same position. Take opposite hand to opposite knee. So I have left hand to right knee. And then begin to feel, not that you're twisting your shoulders into a twist, but that you're trying to take your belly button round towards this hip. So the twist comes through the torso, and then the shoulders follow. And if you can, you can hold on to the back of the chair. You might have your hand on the seat. Good. Now see if you can get really tall. So from the middle, the sacrum, the middle of your pelvis, all the way to the crown of your head. And then take an inhale to get taller. And as you exhale, can you squeeze your tummy muscles in? And you might twist a tiny bit deeper. Yeah. So then breathing into the twist, you're breathing into all of those places that feel compressed, a bit like wringing out a dishcloth. And then release back to the front. If you've got your leg crossed, you can just release any tension there by waggling the knees. And then we'll take that to the other side. So don't go into a twist if it pulls or hurts in the sacroiliac joints or anywhere around the low back. It should feel quite nice through the torso. So I'll show you this time without the leg crossed, but otherwise you cross the leg, the left over the right. Opposite hand to the outside of the opposite knee. Your other hand is either on the seat or holding onto the chair, but just keep your shoulders relaxed. And then as you turn, you're thinking about the belly button turning round. And that is useful to use your out breath to sort of twist and pull the abdominals in. And then take a couple of breaths in the twist. Can you feel tall, the crown of your head's floating up to the ceiling? And your exhale, you can just squeeze the tummy in and see if you can get a micro twist deeper. Lovely. And then inhale to unravel, take the knees wide and just let the knees float in and out a little bit. Lovely. And then sit comfortably. So you can sit a little bit further back. If, like me, you've got really short legs and quite a big chair, it's quite nice to have your feet on top of a brick or something, so that the knees are a little bit more in front of the hips. It doesn't pull on the back. And then let's just do some really slow and controlled shoulder rolls. So start really relaxed with your hands just resting on your thighs. And without using your arm muscles, just lift the shoulders up to the ears. So the elbows stay relaxed, yeah, as high as you can, even higher, yeah. And then start to squeeze the very top bit of your shoulder blades towards each other. So you're squeezing as if you were squeezing into your spine. Good, try not to stick your head out like a chicken. So you want to take the ears back, lovely. Good, and then relax. So this time we're going to go from neutral into the squeeze. So we did a lift and squeeze. Now we're just going to take it right back and squeeze. And see if you can feel that it's the muscles a little bit lower down the middle of your shoulder blades, squeezing in towards the spine. And again, just make sure we're not sticking the chin out. Take a breath here, squeeze. Now I can feel my stronger side much more than my weaker side. So then squeeze the weaker side a little bit more. See if you can switch it on and then relax. So this time we're going to try to draw the shoulders down and then squeeze the bottom tips together. So here the elbows might move back a little bit more. So if you imagine the shape of the scapula is like a triangle, we've done the top tips towards each other. We've done the sides, the edges towards each other. Now we're trying to squeeze the bottom tips towards each other. It's much more difficult, but that sense of drawing down, neck long and squeezing in, squeeze, and then release. And then just do a little bit of backstroke, which is alternate shoulder rolls. Yeah, so we have to coordinate the brain as well. And then try that forwards. So front crawl. Yeah, that's it. And that gets a little bit of movement into the upper back. And we'll do that again. So we're going to lift the shoulders, keep them up towards your ears. Keep them lifted as you squeeze the very top bits. It can feel almost itchy in there, really tight. Good, take the head back, squeeze and relax and just loosen some of that tension. And then keeping the shoulders neutral. See if you can squeeze the edges of your shoulder blades together. Great, so the elbows can draw back a little bit. And again, I'm sticking my head out like a chicken. I can feel myself doing it. Almost going to cluck and then take the head back. And release, good. And then we'll try drawing the shoulders down so the neck feels a bit longer, and then squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulders together. And actually, it can be quite nice to hold on to the chair to do that. Squeeze and relax. Great. And then a little bit more. Alternate shoulder rolls, but let's slow it down and bring a little bit more movement into the waist. So as you lift one shoulder, lean to the opposite side, roll the shoulder blade round, and then take it to the other side. So you've got a bit of opening in the waist as you lift, roll, drop, lift, roll, drop. Good. One more on each side. Great. And then interlink the hands and push, as long as your wrists feel okay to do that. Otherwise, you can keep the palms facing you. Otherwise, turn the palms out and then let the pelvis tip back again and push the hands away. So you feel the shoulder blades slide off your ribs. And again, take the breath between the shoulder blades, letting the chin drop and feel the stretch in your back. Great. Start to come up and take the hands back. So you can either, it depends on your chair, take hold of the bottom of the chair or take hold of the back of the chair. And lean forward. So here you're squeezing your shoulder blades in again. You're opening up through the collarbones. Yeah, a bit like, are they called figureheads on the front of ships? I never remember that word. Yeah, so squeezing the shoulder blades in. Great. And then loosen some of that tension. Take the arms out, palms up. So we've done this one before. This is the eagle stretch. So see if you can cross your elbows. Bend your elbows and take your hands to your shoulders if you're going to give yourself a hug, and lift the elbows. And here, just do a little bit of a mini twist as if you're WD-40ing your upper back. That's it. And you can drop the chin down a little bit. So you can stay here, or you can take it into a slightly stronger shoulder stretch. So the backs of the arms come towards each other, the backs of the hands come towards each other, press the hands towards each other. And if you've got the flexibility, you might be able to just link the thumb with the little finger. Yeah, that's it, you got it. And then drop the chin down, and almost as if you were going to offer your elbows forwards, lift them, and you'll feel that stretch in your upper back. Take a breath. And then release the arms. And again, just give that a little loosener. Arms out wide. So this time you've got to remember which way you crossed your elbows. The other elbows on top. Take the hands to the shoulders. Lift the elbows. So the elbows are quite close to each other. And just have that mini twist as if you're WD-40ing your upper thoracic vertebrae. Good. And then you can stay there for that stretch, offering your elbows forwards, or you can take the backs of your arms together, pressing the backs of your hands towards each other, and you might, I just realized I hadn't changed. You might be able to just link little finger and thumb. Lovely. Make sure you're on the other side, not like me. And then lift your elbows away from you a tiny bit. dropping the chin, and take a breath. And then we'll release that and just circle the shoulders. Good. And then let's just do a little bit of mini massage. So we've done this before. You bring your fingers together and you're doing a dragon mouth technique. So your fingertips are going to hold a bit of your flesh and press it towards the heel of your hand. So just in this upper part of your shoulder, yeah, do the opposite one. It's a bit less awkward. And you're just squeezing and releasing, squeeze, release. And see if you can take the opposite ear to the shoulder. So you get, yeah, a little bit of stretch there as well. And then take that into the deltoid, the upper arm, and down to the elbow. Good. And just shake out the arms. And that should feel a little bit looser. So we'll take that to the other side. So fingertips together, that dragon mouth position, and see if you can just squeeze the top of the trapezius muscle. It tends to get really tight. So squeeze and release, and take the opposite ear to the shoulder just for a bit of stretch as well as you just explore. Do what feels good. And then the top of the deltoid, a little bit of upper arm muscle. Great. And then release. Lovely. So before I let you go, we're just going to do 2 more stretches for the lower body that we do a lot, and it's really easy to do them seated. We'll do hamstring first. So let's straighten the left leg. And then both hands on the bent knee. Lift the chest so that again, you've got that, like that cow position again. And the hinge comes at the hip. So you're not allowing the front of your body to close. You're staying nice and upright. And you just lean forwards at the hip until you feel the stretch in the back of this leg, the straight leg. Draw the toes towards your knee if you feel that you need a little bit more. If you don't, then that foot can just relax and it will ease the pressure on your hamstring. So do what feels good. We'll take another breath. I'll show you from the side here. You've got that lift in the chest and you're just hinging at the hip. Good. Can you feel that stretch? Back of your leg? Good. Have another breath there. So then to come out of it, we'll go straight to the other side. Just support that leg to bend the knee and then straighten the other one. We'll do the same stretch on this side. So hands on the bent knee. So never want to put pressure on that straight knee. Lifting up the chest and hinge at the hip. So often almost as if you were going to offer your chin forwards, and you should feel that on the back of this straight leg. If it feels that you can stretch it a little bit more, you can draw the toes back towards your knee. If that's too much, you relax that foot. So do what feels right for you. And if, like me, you're quite flexible, you might even be able to take your hands further down, but don't try and do that. You could lean nonchalantly on your bent leg. Lovely. So then to come out, just support the straight knee as you come up and lift it up. So now you've got your right knee. Straighten the left leg a little bit and see if you can hook the ankle over above the knee. So if you are careful with your hips and you don't want to take it too deep, then you can stay here and you can just hold on to the shin and you might be able to let it come out to the side a little bit. It's up to you, do what feels right. Otherwise, bend this bottom leg and make sure you haven't let the foot go all the way over there. That's cheating. You want to try and keep the foot in line with the hip and then sit really tall. So you're up on your sit bones, whichever version you're doing. And we want to feel a stretch around this right glute. Yeah. Shouldn't feel pain anywhere. The knee should feel okay. It shouldn't feel pinchy in the front of your hip. Smile and breathe. Good. And then just to come out of it, support the knee, hug it in, and just do a little ankle circle. And bring that foot to the floor, and we'll scoop up the other knee. Good. Don't slump back too much, because then it's quite difficult to get to where we need to do. You can hook the ankle over the top of the knee, and that might be enough for you. Sit really tall. Otherwise, you can hold on to the shin and let the knee come out to the side. And the key to this one really is sitting super tall, right on the top of your sit bones. So again, you've got that slight opening of the chest, and that's what's going to give you the stronger stretch in your buttock because it tilts your pelvis forwards. Make sure this foot on the floor hasn't sneaked over to the opposite side, which often tends to happen. You think, gosh, this is such an easy stretch. Well, that's because you're cheating. So you need the foot in line with that hip. Sit really tall. And breathe. Good. And then support the knee to come out and just hug it in. You can relax your back and just circle the ankle one way and then the other. And then we can just sit back for a bit of a relax for the last moment. And again, if you've got short legs like me, so can you see if I have my feet on the floor, my knees are a tiny little bit lower than my hips, and the back doesn't really like that. So if you've got different mechanics, you might not find that. But for those of us with slightly shorter shins, maybe, it's nice to have your feet up, especially if you've got a tight back and hips. And then the knees are either in line with the hips or a tiny little bit higher. You can feel it almost feels like it's much more relaxing for the back. So just rest your hands, let your head drop, let the chair support you, and really let go of your belly. So any tension in your tummy muscles, take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, feel the body just letting go and relaxing a little bit more. And it might be that your knees float out as you let go of any tension in your legs. Close the eyes and just feel really tuned into your body, but in a very relaxed attitude. And just take another couple of breaths there. And then with your next inhale, come and sit nice and tall. Well done. Thank you.